You guys noticed that the line between what's real and what's fake has gotten a little blurry, at least online. Like the other day I was watching this flying video and it turns out it was actually just in the Microsoft Flight Sim. It kind of blew my mind. So out of curiosity, I want to show you guys 2 clips and I want to see if you guys can tell which one I actually shot in real life with my plane. Ready? This is the first one and this is the second one. Could you tell which one was real? Well, spoiler alert, they both were shot in real life using this. This is the X3 from Insta360. It's a 360 camera that allows you to shoot unreal looking content, and I'm gonna show you how to use it. Now this video is for my pilot friends that have been considering making flying content, but haven't, either because they thought it was gonna be too much work or they just assumed that you had to buy all these expensive cameras and drones and high-end editing equipment. And that is not the case. I truly believe that if there's one camera and only one camera that you are gonna get to shoot flying content, this is it. Full disclosure, Insta360 did send me this and they are sponsoring this video, so thank you Insta360. But I truly believe that these are the most powerful tool for creating aviation content or really any other content. And the X3 is the latest generation of the best-selling 360 camera in the world. It's got bigger sensors, so it has better quality, and it's got a new, larger touchscreen on the front to make it easier to use. Now, for anyone that doesn't know what a 360 camera is, or if you're a little lost on this, that's okay. These things are kind of crazy. Basically, this camera has 2 separate lenses. Both have a really wide field of view, and what that allows is for the camera to see in every direction. But the magic of this is actually in how they stitch the video together that makes the selfie stick or the rod or whatever you're mounting it to here completely invisible. So what you end up with is basically this really cool 360-degree field of view angle that you can place anywhere. And then you're able to go in after the fact and edit the footage to pan through it and choose your framing afterwards. Now back in the early days, most 360 footage was kind of for like a virtual reality kind of feel where you could pan around and look around, and you can still do that with these. But I think what's more powerful is the way that we can create content in cool ways by placing cameras in areas or in places that were never possible before. Now this is particularly true with flying content because the hardest angle to get when you're trying to either shoot videos for Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube of flying is trying to get an outside perspective of your aircraft. Prior to 360 cameras, you would have to have either someone on the ground or another airplane or a drone chasing you, but not anymore, thanks to the Insta360. We're now able to mount these things on different places on the plane and get cool perspectives that we never could before. Now, before we get into how to use this, I wanna just run over the specs really quick on the Insta360 X3. This thing's gonna be able to shoot 360-degree video in 5.7K resolution. They have this new active HDR mode, which is a higher dynamic range, which means your highlights and shadows aren't going to get blown out and crushed as much as they would in the normal mode. The camera's also able to shoot still images up to 72 megapixels, which is huge. So for anyone that does like real estate work, you could go and literally put this in each room of a house and create basically a virtual tour online in super high resolution. It can also shoot 8K time lapses, and it now has the ability to shoot as a standard action camera in 4K.
This is another option where I am shooting using just the camera, the lens facing me. I'm able to shoot in 4K, so then it effectively acts as any other action camera. And what that affords you is a little bit better resolution for the framing that I have right now. So it's kind of like a zero compromise solution. You can shoot 360, get every direction, or you can pick either of the individual cameras to shoot off of, and you still have 4K, still able to use it like any other, small action style camera.
Now what's cool about shooting with a 360 camera like this is you no longer have to worry about what way the camera's facing or what your actual framing is, because you can change that later. And that's probably the hardest part to kind of wrap your head around when you start shooting with one of these. But basically, the key is you just want to place it somewhere where it's going to have a perspective you'd like looking any given direction. So where this comes in clutch for flying is that the hardest shot to get if you're trying to film your own flying videos is outside perspectives of your plane. Up until 360 cameras, the best we could do is just mount a camera on our wing somewhere, which obviously isn't getting the entire aircraft because it's going to be missing the rest of the wing. That's where the 360 camera changed the game. And I think you guys might have seen a video I did a while ago with the original Insta360 1X, where I mounted basically a mic boom pole to my wing strut. And what I'll do is I'll telescope that out. Basically it allows me to pull this thing out. It's a little above my head, but you can see right there that it's gonna be about in line or a little ahead of the prop, which gives that really cool perspective of being able to see the whole plane and still giving us the ability to pan around and see the surroundings. Now let's talk about a couple of the angles. Now the first one that I've been doing for years was just the invisible selfie stick. I'm actually using like a mic boom pole. This was before I knew that Insta360 had their very long extended selfie stick. This is a 10-foot one. And this is what I would use if I were to, set that up all new. But basically, I like to send a camera out in front of the wing of my plane so I can have this front 3/4 view looking back at the plane. If I'm flying formation, I can go ahead and pan the image around to see the person that I'm flying formation next to. And then obviously it just gives a cool perspective of being able to see the plane as it's flying through the air. Now the other one that I've seen other friends do, but this was my first time setting it up myself, is the stinger off the back, which is a really cool angle. It's honestly like a video game angle when you're able to stick the camera out off the tail. That way you're just basically in chase cam mode following the plane. Now outside of just mounting the camera on your plane, you can also get a ton of cool content from the ground of airplanes or other things if you want. And there's actually a really popular hashtag going around right now, which is no drone, no problem. Which basically you can simulate drone shots using the extended selfie stick and using that to place the camera in the same place where you would place a drone. The difference is you don't have to worry about airspace requirements, weather, or any of the other things. It's much safer and easier, but you can still get that really cool drone shot effect. Like check out this one. I was just riding my one wheel around my plane, did a slow lowering of the boom, and then I pushed the camera in through the door of the plane so that you could see the panel. Now that would be like an impossible drone shot. And now here's the cool part that Insta360 has really come a long ways in. The back end or post-processing side has gotten so much easier. For someone like me who still knows how to edit and prefers using a nonlinear editor, they do have a plugin that works directly with Adobe Premiere Pro, so you can just drop the clips in and it knows that they're 360 clips and you can reframe it in there. Alternatively, you can just bring it into the Insta360 Studio app on your computer, which makes it really easy to reframe and track a subject or set keyframes and change the view throughout the shot. Basically all you do is import the clip, add a keyframe anytime you want the camera to be pointing a certain direction, or just go down to the tracker and highlight over what you want to track and let it do the work for you. Now the third and probably easiest option is to use the Insta360 app on your phone. Now this is not only going to allow you to control the camera remotely, but you can also go into the albums and look through your footage and edit them after the fact. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up a clip here from the tail of the airplane. And basically what I'm able to do here is I can go in, add a keyframe wherever I want it. You're able to pan and look around, add another keyframe, and very quickly edit on your phone. Now you can select whatever frame size you want. They have every different layout for things like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that. But they also have this snap tool, which is a really, really cool feature for reframing. So what I'm able to do, I'm actually gonna long press this button, which is gonna make the video play. And then from there, you can actually record the movements of panning through the image, which makes it super easy to go in and reframe and basically control the image that you're going to put out. They've also got other great tools for adding color intensity or clarity to your image. You can add music, change the speed. You can pull freeze frames. You can do a ton of powerful stuff just in the app. And then from there, you can just export it, save it on your phone, and then upload directly to whatever you're trying to upload to. Now, one thing I will say, if you're gonna be posting on YouTube and you're shooting in 16:9, I do recommend sending the info out to the Studio app. There is actually a way that you can record all the moves and the changes on your phone and save that to the camera, so when you plug in the SD card on your computer, then it already has all that info, so you don't have to go back through and reanimate it, which makes it really easy. So yeah, I'm still just scratching the surface on what's possible with this thing, and I'm gonna have to spend more time trying out other cool locations to mount it at and the effects that can be created by that. And speaking of effects, I forgot to mention, they also have this cool feature in the app called Shot Lab, which allows you to do like sky replacements and some other cool effects like that. They also have a feature called Me Mode, which when you put this out, it's always gonna be facing at you. So if you're out skateboarding, snowboarding, whatever it is that you're doing, it's always looking at you, and you basically have it as like a selfie stick action camera, only with no stick. So to anyone interested in picking up an Insta360 X3, make sure to use my link below. That'll get you a free invisible selfie stick when you buy the camera. Thanks again, Insta360, for sponsoring this one. And you guys know the drill. Like this video if you do, subscribe if you haven't. Come be my wingman. I'll see you in the next one.